Members of the board present.
The chair now asks the secretary to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. The chair invites any members of the audience who wish to participate to do so and asks that those who do not wish to participate please remain silent during the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We acknowledge that Milwaukee traditional Menominee, Potawatomi, and Ho-Chunk homeland along the southwest shores of Lake Michigan, part of North America's largest system of freshwater lakes. On this site, the Milwaukee, Menominee, and Kinnickinnick rivers meet, and the people of Wisconsin's Menominee, Ojibwa, Ho-Chunk, Oneida, and Mohican sovereign nations remain present to this day. This meeting is being conducted in person from the Central Services Building. In order to allow as much public access and participation as possible, this meeting is also being broadcast on WYMS Radio 88.9 FM and via live stream on the MPS website and on the MPS YouTube stream, the links to which may be found on the MPS website on the broadcast page. Before we begin tonight's meeting, we will have a short announcement regarding interpretation services for the Spanish-speaking members of our audience. Before we move to our agenda, the chair will ask that we share in a moment of silence to commemorate the passing of the following members of the MPS community. Gertrude Batten, a retired general assistant from Marshall High School. Mercedes Brown Weeks, a student at Vincent High School. Lisa Dunn, a retired physical therapist with specialized services. Harold Greco-Wiegak, a retired material handler with facilities and maintenance. Patricia Gums, a retired teacher from South Division High School. Annie Jones, retired assistant principal from Rufus King High School. Brianna Nemox, a paraprofessional from Sherman. Teresa Sobizchek, a retired food service assistant. We were also deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Mr. Stanley McWilliams, current principal of Wisconsin Conservatory of Lifelong Learning. If we could have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you. We will now have our Spanish interpreter. Please go ahead.
Muchas gracias. Si alguien necesita servicios de interpretación en español, por favor, déjenmelo saber. Yo voy a estar en la parte de atrás del salón con unos equipos audífonos para brindar ese servicio si alguien lo necesita.
Thank you very much. Each month, the Milwaukee Board of Directors accepts the public's input, both at the committee meetings and through correspondence submitted to the Office of Board Governance. As this is the regular monthly meeting of the board, however, in accordance with board rules, the board will not be taking any public testimony on any items during tonight's meeting. Just as a reminder, Robert's Rules of Order dictate that all comments should be directed to the chair. Also, any questions or requests, including those from the public, board members, or the administration, are to be directed toward the chair, who will determine the most efficient way to address them. Please be respectful of the democratic process adhered to by the board. For the safety of all and to ensure the good order of the meeting, harassment or intimidation tactics of any kind will not be tolerated. Anyone persisting in disrupting this process will be asked to leave or will be escorted from the meeting and will not be allowed to return. Anyone ejected from the meeting may continue to listen to the meeting or access the agenda items online. Also, no one other than members of the board, designated staff, and those who have been invited to present or participate in items of business will be allowed on stage before, during, or after meetings of the board and its committees. Finally, for all of our listening audience, if you wish to access this evening's agenda items and attachments online, you may do so by visiting the Meetings, Agendas, and Minutes page on the MPS website and choosing Online Agendas. Now, let us begin, Madam Secretary. What is our first item?
The first item on tonight's agenda is the awards and commendations.
Each month, the Board of School Directors recognize an outstanding school student, staff member, parent, or community member for a display of excellence, achievement, or innovation that may serve as an example to our schools and our entire community. We have 4 items of recognition this month. Madam Secretary, what is the first recognition?
The first recognition is the presentation of the 2023 MPS valedictorians and salutatorians.
Dr. Posley, would you please present this item?
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. Keith Posley, Superintendent of Schools. This evening, the administration brings to you a very special tradition and shared the names of the Milwaukee Public Schools valedictorians and salutatorians for the class of 2023. I just want to commend all of our students for an outstanding job and a job well done. At this time, I'd like to turn you over to Natsiana Buck, who will be reading off the names tonight. Natsiana.
Good evening, President Herndon and members of the board. My name is Nunciata Portis Buck. As we come to a close of this 2022-2023 school year, I am proud to present to the board, our listening audience, and the city of Milwaukee, the valedictorians and salutatorians of the class of 2023. These students represent the best of our estimated 3,300 graduates this year. The tradition of selecting the valedictorian goes back to 1772 at the College of William and Mary, and we honor this tradition by acknowledging the top achieving students as the valedictorians of their school and the salutatorians this evening at today's board meeting, but at their individual ceremonies next week. We will also congratulate them. So congratulations to these students on their accomplishments through their high school career. I will now read the valedictorians. Asada High School, Tamika Horton, valedictorian. Omarion Moore, salutatorian. The Alliance School, Marcos Gonzalez, valedictorian. Kate Shi Shang, salutatorian. Audubon High School, Noah Wayinde, valedictorian, and Hayden Ho, salutatorian. Bayview High School, Jennifer Adongo, valedictorian. Desmond DeBurgo, salutatorian. Bradley Technology and Trade High School, Stephen Concepcion, valedictorian. Nurjane Mohammed Ali, salutatorian. Carmen High School, South Campus, Elisa Ruiz Rodriguez, valedictorian. Syra Gomez Sandoval, salutatorian. Carmen High School, Southeast Campus, Marius Strepte, valedictorian. Genesis Rivera Diaz, salutatorian. Carmen High School Northwest Campus, Renee Naldo, valedictorian. Tara Cousins, salutatorian. Golda Meir, William Neeb, valedictorian. Catherine Jensen, salutatorian. Grandview High School, Jasmine Torres, valedictorian, Anthony Jackson, Valerie Harriman, and Alexander Herrera Borjas, salutatorians. Green Tree Preparatory Academy, Karshawn Byron, valedictorian, Xavier Anderson, salutatorian. Groppe High School, William Sackett, valedictorian, America Jones, salutatorian. Hamilton High School, Rung Ding, valedictorian, Mama Kone, salutatorian. Hmong American Peace Academy, Zakaria Monzon Yang, valedictorian, Chloe Lowe, salutatorian. Lad Lake, Javion Champion, valedictorian, Jake Van Lanen, salutatorian. McDowell Montessori, Janiyah Wright, valedictorian, Justice Warren, salutatorian. Madison Academic Campus, Frederick Calhoun, valedictorian, Chinang Young, salutatorian. Milwaukee Excellence, Emijah McDonald, valedictorian, Anaya McDonald, salutatorian. Milwaukee High School of the Arts, Sam Craigwicks, valedictorian, Lily Kent, salutatorian. Milwaukee Marshall High School, Jenny Yang, valedictorian, Deasia Clark, salutatorian. Milwaukee School of Languages, Amelia Baldwin, valedictorian, Erica Lohr, salutatorian. North Division High School, Corey Thomas and Naomi Aline, valedictorians, Janae Gentry Watson, salutatorian. Nova High School, Abrina Harrell and William Morgan, valedictorians, Unique Perry and Kane Virgil, salutatorians. Obama SCT High School, Antonia Hayes, valedictorian, Anika Burton, salutatorian. Project Stay High School, Tyria Turner, valedictorian, Jesus Gallegos Caranta, salutatorian. Pulaski High School, Yesenia Dominguez, valedictorian, Zabul Raham Haroum, salutatorian. Reagan College Preparatory High School. Just bear with me for 1 second to make sure this is a nice little list here. The valedictorians, Alyssa Aranda, Ava Antoinette, Ava Quirk, Biak Tial, Dawu Zidi, Dean Zadi, Elise Grandbos, Ella Kuba Shunique, Isabel Tio, Isadora Andrique, Leslie Garcia, Malik Mohammed Ahmed, Miranda Aviles, Nicole Serenic, Rory Hoshon, and Victoria Valquez Rojas, all valedictorians. Riverside University High School, Evelinda Artiga, valedictorian, Jacelie Stewart, salutatorian. Rufus King, Andrea Enawu, Christina Hansen, Eliza Link, Eva Groeschel, Haley Truss, Kasim Alexander, Ling Mua, Margaret Rorabeck, Maria Scannell, Maxwell Siegel, Noel Glaswia, Sky Anderson, Tamara Hoon Rodriguez, and Tinley Dugan, valedictorians. Rufus King International High School salutatorians, Jordan Plitzner, Leopold Beal, and Nolan Farah. Shalom High School, Shavia Moore. South Division High School, Nur Shahir Ayu, valedictorian, Nat May, salutatorian. Transition High School, Tanise Young, valedictorian, Nakia Bimam Bird, salutatorian. Vincent High School, Deidre Scott, valedictorian, Casey McGuire, salutatorian. Washington High School of IT, Daniel Lewis, valedictorian, Andrew Herr, salutatorian. Wisconsin Conservatory of Lifelong Learning, Deja Tomlinson Mathis, valedictorian, Shania Bird, salutatorian. It is truly an honor that I was allowed to present these names, and congratulations again for all who have not only presented, that we presented tonight. We are proud not only of the work that you have done, but the young adults that you will become and have become attending the Milwaukee Public Schools. Best wishes and congratulations to the entire class of 2023. Thank you, President Herndon.
I too would like to say congratulations to all of these wonderful students, recognizing their high achievements during their 4 years in high school. Congratulations, and may you have a bright, bright future. Are there any board members that wish to share their appreciation for these young people? Director Carr.
Congratulations to the class of 2023. If I'm not mistaken, this was the last couple classes actually have been classes that have been impacted by the pandemic. But I say all of this to say you all have pushed through and prevailed. And this is not the end. This is only the beginning. And so as I tell my daughter, I tell you all, may my ceiling be your floor. Continue on, go on, and do well. Congratulations.
Next, Director Jackson.
Yes, absolutely. So congratulations again. I've been to 3 so far, and what I will say, as you progress in life, in a lot of places you may not feel like you fit in, but understand and know that you belong there.
Anyone else? Again, congratulations to all of you. Next, we'll have, Madam Secretary, what is the next recognition?
The next recognition is the presentation of the 2023 WIABE, the Wisconsin Association of Bilingual Education, the award recipients.
This recognition is being made at the request of Director Garcia. Director Garcia, would you please do the honors?
Yes, thank you for allowing me to make this presentation of this recognition. The Wisconsin Association for Bilingual Education, known as WIABE, is the largest organization of bilingual educators, parents, students, researchers, and allies in the state of Wisconsin. And MPS is very proud to have a very long-standing relationship with WIABE, which has keenly focused on statewide advocacy, professional development, and member engagement. I had the pleasure of attending their 44th annual WIABE conference this year in April, where the bilingual and multilingual community came together for learning, exchange of best practices, and important networking. WIABE Educator of the Year, Student Art Contest and Writing Contest winners, and the Tony Baez Lifetime Achievement recipients were recognized and celebrated at the conference. WIABE was proud to recognize MPS educators and students at this year's conference. In all, 33 educators in the state were honored. 17 of those were from Milwaukee Public Schools. I'd like to recognize and thank the following educators in our district for their efforts in nurturing the the cultural and linguistic brilliance in our students. On behalf of this Board of Directors, I would like to congratulate and thank each of you. If you are here, please stand up, and for those that are listening in, know that we uplift you in spirit. So the recognized teachers are Samantha Camacho from Longfellow School, Elizabeth Colon from Greenfield Bilingual School, Dorcas Paris Davila from Alexander Mitchell Integrated Arts School, Itza Espinosa from Allenfield School, Rebecca Hanton from Milwaukee School of Languages, Daniel Maldonado from the Department of Black and Latino Male Achievement, Angela Munoz from Lincoln Avenue School, Delia Pravia from Escuela View, Saidimar Rivera from Forest Home Avenue School, Silvia Rodriguez from Riley Dual Language Montessori School, Gladys Rivera Gonzalez from La Causa Charter School, Ana Santiago from South Division High School, Cindy Santiago from Morgendale School, Monica Stanchfield Bastardo from Cagle School, Sanja Sujovic from Hamilton High School, Margaret Villafuentes from Hayes Bilingual School, and Claribel Rodriguez from Roger Street Academy that was honored posthumously. Felicidades. Thank you for all that you do to nurture our multilingual and bilingual and multilingual students. At this point, I'm going to invite to the podium Ms. Ivelisse Perez, who is an SST at View School and a board member of WIABE that co-chaired the student contest this year. Ms. Perez will introduce and announce our student winners.
Thank you, Director Garcia. Good evening, Board of Directors and Superintendent Dr. Posley. I am honored to be here tonight alongside some of my WIABE board members, Jose Trejo, Alondra Garcia, and Luz Hernandez. And we are here to honor our student contest winner. But before I start, I want to thank the board and Milwaukee Public Schools for supporting the linguistic gifts of our students and our students and families bring to our schools, and for investing in our bilingual dual language programs. Today, I'm excited to celebrate the three out of the 6 contest winners were from Milwaukee Public Schools, and they make us MPS proud. We chose one winner in each of the 3 categories. So we had elementary category for 3rd to 5th, 6th through 8th, and 9th to 12th. So we had a conjunction contest. One was for writing and the other one for art. The theme was Welcome to My Multilingual, Multicultural World. In total, we received 86 art entries and 70 writing entries. This year's participants spoke the following languages: English, Spanish, Burmese, Rohingya, French, Japanese, Gujarati, Mandarin, Chinese, Karen, and German. They represented 12 school districts across the state. Each of the winners received a certificate of participation, $100 cash prize, and one-night stay hotel at the Kalahari, and additional prizes. This year, we were fortunate to have several general sponsors to our student contests, such as the Administrators and Supervisors Council, Johnson Financial Bank, Milwaukee Public Schools Bilingual Multicultural Education, Milwaukee Public Schools Foundation, Milwaukee Teachers Education Association, Sabor Tropical, and the Walker's Point Center for the Arts. Tonight, the winners from Milwaukee Public Schools will present either their writing essay or a description of their art piece. Only 2 out of the 3 winners are here tonight. So I invite you to help me welcome Miguel Casaleña. He is a 12th grader from South Division High School, and he graduated yesterday with a Silver Biliteracy Award as well. He is here today with his family and school principal, Jose Trejo. Miguel, we would like to invite you to share your essay that you wrote about your multilingual, multicultural life.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Miguel Casalegno, and I will be presenting my essay. Bienvenidos a mi mundo multilingüe y multicultural. Nuestro mundo consiste de 7 continentes, 194 países y alrededor de 6.500 lenguajes. Por lo tanto, existe una gran variedad de culturas y tradiciones que nos definen, nos separan, pero al mismo tiempo también nos une. Así que creo que ser parte de un mundo multilingüe y multicultural nos da la oportunidad de ser mejores personas, ya que nos brinda la oportunidad de aprender de otros, y al mismo tiempo nos enseña a valorar otras culturas. Creo firmemente que ser parte de un mundo multilingüe y multicultural a mí me ha ayudado a moldear mi vida como ser humano, para poder convivir con otros de una manera más eficaz y empática. Mi mundo multicultural y multilingüe me ha dado la oportunidad de desarrollar muchos otros valores que han formado mejor mi carácter como ser humano, tales como el respeto, la equidad, la justicia, la integridad, el valor de la libertad, la tolerancia, la bondad, la gratitud y sobre todo la solidaridad con las personas que me rodean. Por eso, creo que tanto la lengua como la cultura de otros países son aspectos importantes en el desarrollo de nuestra identidad, porque nos unen como comunidad y también como nación. Considero que la cultura y la lengua influyen en el mundo en que nos vemos a nosotros mismos y en cómo vemos a los demás. De alguna manera, también determinan los grupos con los cuales nos queremos relacionar. En los últimos años hemos enfrentado diferentes desafíos mundiales. Sin embargo, nos corresponde a nosotros estar abiertos a otros pueblos a través de nuestro lenguaje y nuestra cultura. Yo como hondureño viviendo en los Estados Unidos y como estudiante de la Escuela Superior South Division, una escuela muy diversa, he tenido que enfrentar diferentes desafíos, tanto culturales como lingüísticos. No obstante, esto me ha dado la oportunidad de estar más conectado y disfrutar de un intercambio intercultural y lingüístico muy significativo para mí. Crecimiento como ser humano. Sin embargo, sin lugar a dudas, mi mundo multilingüe y multicultural vienen muchos de los valores ejercidos en mi diario vivir que me han permitido salir de la burbuja del aislamiento para entrar en un mundo rico en conocimiento. Como hondureño, soy una mezcla de culturas que me han enriquecido en cada aspecto de mi vida. Por lo tanto, este intercambio intercultural y multilingüe me ha dado la oportunidad de valorar las otras culturas e idiomas que aportan tanto a mi vida como a la vida de aquellos con los cuales me relaciono. Mi mundo multicultural y multilingüe ha sido una gran aportación a mi persona y me ha dado el privilegio de aprender de otros que también, a su vez, están aprendiendo de mí. Ese intercambio es lo que me ha hecho pensar que las líneas fronterizas se convierten en líneas imaginarias, que nos separan si es que lo permitimos. Y los idiomas son barreras que pueden ser quebrantadas con un simple abrazo y actos de verdadero amor. En conclusión, yo considero que el intercambio de otras culturas a mi mundo ha generado grandes aportes. He aprendido día a día a relacionarme con otras personas y a entender y respetar sus idiosincrasias para así poderme relacionar aprendiendo unos de los otros. Por otra parte, también me ha dado la oportunidad de aprender acerca de otras ideologías e idiomas que han enriquecido mi intelecto y mi diversidad cultural. Definitivamente, creo que ser multilingüe y multicultural me ha brindado el privilegio de poder desarrollarme con otras personas de una o más maneras armoniosas e enriquecedoras. Para mí, ser parte de un mundo multicultural y multilingüe es valorar con el objetivo de producir armonía gracias a la riqueza de la diversidad racial. Por lo tanto, nuestro reto actual es poder compartir con otras culturas para poder generar un equilibrio entre la necesidad de aprovechar la diversidad cultural y lingüística, con el propósito de mejorar el diálogo intercultural, la comprensión de la diversidad humana sin destruir nuestra identidad y nuestro sentido de pertenencia. Así que, bienvenidos a mi mundo multilingüe y multicultural. Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you, Miguel. Next, I will introduce the student art contest winners. The winner for the middle school category is Sayam Montañez from La Causa Charter School. She was not able to be here today, but we have her art piece here, and I will read her poem. Her poem is, it's a Spanglish poem, so it's a mixture of two languages. So welcome to her multilingual world. It says, Vivo in the land of opportunity. Soy de una enchanted isla. I sing songs of El Jíbaro. I dream with the sounds of El Coquí. U.S. is my home y Puerto Rico lo llevo en mi corazón. And our final winner for the high school category is Jernaya Wright. Jernaya is from Milwaukee School of Languages in Milwaukee, and she is here today. We welcome her. We would like to invite you to share the description of your piece, and we also have her artwork.
As you know, my name is Janaya, and you know, I'm from Mark School Languages. My draw represent how the world isn't just a big blimp of space where everyone lives, but also it's a very multicultural place, as well as no matter your race, sexuality, language, or culture, you can express yourself and be yourself. It takes all of us to hold the world and not just one person. In addition to being a bilingual student who is learning and speak French and English, it has been one of the best things in my life. Being bilingual gives me more opportunities in my near future and let me travel to different places that I desire. It also furthered my language and French culture. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations to our students, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to share and celebrate our multilingual students. Thank you.
All right, so I think that we can all agree that the cultural and linguistic diversity of the students that we serve is one of our greatest assets. We have students representing 81 languages in our district. We have 21 bilingual schools, 4 language immersion schools, 27 schools that offer ESL to students from around the world. And this year we have earned more than 130 seals of biliteracy. So congratulations, congratulations. This is really an important element for me as a program alumni. You know, I have benefited greatly from the bilingual education program. So to me, it fills my heart to see the educators that continuously pour into the development of our students and the students that are going out into the world to make an impact. So thank you. That is something that means a lot to me. So I thank my colleagues for allowing me to, bring this amazing network of folks that are so incredibly important to the work that we do here in Milwaukee Public Schools, to the students that, participated, to the students that won. Know that your voice matters. There's a place for it, and we encourage you to continue to develop your artistic skills, your linguistic skills, just any way that you can express, that voice that you have inside of you, that there's people, in this room today that are cheering for you and will cheer for you, till we can't any longer. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just ask my colleagues in audience to just join me in congratulating the dedicated bilingual educators and our talented student winners.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to all of you. Does the administration have comments on this?
Madam Chair, members of the board, I just want to say congratulations to the WIABE Award recipients, and what a wonderful job and an honor. I had the privilege to be present when a number of the teachers were rewarded their awards this year. It was truly amazing. Keep up the great work and keep doing great things for children. Thank you.
Do any board members wish to make remarks? Director Simpson.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Director Garcia, for making sure that we had took the time to make this recognition tonight. And I know we often say, as you said so well, diversity is one of our greatest strengths, and I would just encourage people to come to MPS to be a part of this wonderful, diverse community. And we come with diverse languages, cultures, and lived experiences, and it's such a great way to learn about others in the world around us. So thanks for making sure that we've recognized and honored that tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else? Director Jackson.
Yes, thank you, Director Garcia. And just for the record, I know I'm an adult, but I am looking to learn Spanish. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Director Carr.
Thank you, Director Garcia, for bringing this forth. And congratulations to everyone that has played any role in the success of the children, the educators, the district. Thank you all.
Okay. Madam Secretary, what is the next recognition?
The next recognition is the presentation of the MPS 2023 Herb Cole Education Foundation Award recipients.
Dr. Posley, would you please present this item?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. I just want to take this opportunity to recognize our Herb Cole Foundation Award recipients, and to do that tonight with me is Naciana Buck, who will take us away. Naciana.
Thank you, Superintendent Posley. President Herndon, Board Directors, we are pleased again. I am Nunciata Portis Buck to sit here as the Liberal Arts Manager and share with you the 2023 Herb Cole Award recipients. 5 MPS students received the Herb Cole Excellence Scholarship Award for demonstrating strength in academics, motivation, and leadership. The 2023 MPS Excellence Scholarship recipients: Diego Alfaro, Rufus King International High School; Eve Anderson, Rufus King International High School; Eva Greshall, Rufus King International High School; Catherine Jensen, Golda Meir; Stephanie Santoyo Busto, Milwaukee School of Languages. We had 4 MPS students receive the Herb Cole Initiative Scholarship Award for demonstrating strong initiative in school and promise for college. The 2023 MPS Initiative Scholarship recipients: Leopold Beal, Rufus King International High School; Kadarius Farmer, Bayview High School; Colaris Griffin, South Division High School; Kiana Guy, Marshall High School. We had 9 MPS teachers receive the Herb Cole Teacher Honoree Award for demonstrating leadership, service, and the ability to motivate and instill love of learning to students. The 2023 MPS Teacher Honorees: Virginia Fox, Elm Creative Arts School; Angela Harris, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. School; Claudia Heller de Messer, Milwaukee Parkside School of Arts; Nicole Labatt, Lake Ladd Synergy School; Darian Lippin, Carmen High School of Science and Technology South Campus; Francisca Merez, South Division High School; Diane Rayner, Hamilton High School; Martha Reyes, Highland Community School; Erin Sivek, Milwaukee Academy of Chinese Learning; Savannah Thompson, Marshall High School; and Catherine Voss, North Division High School. 1 MPS principal received the Herb Cole Principal Leadership Award for demonstrating professional development or a pursuit of unrealized goals in their schools. This year's 2023 MPS Principal Honoree, Ms. Shantae Williams, Hawthorne School. Thank you.
Thank you. Do board members have any brief comments? Director Carr.
I'll keep it short. Congratulations to all of the recipients. job well done, and you all are the reason why I am MPS proud.
Anyone else? I'd just simply like to say congratulations to all of you. That is a great, great honor. And enjoy it, enjoy it. Madam Secretary, what is the next recognition?
The next recognition is the Excellence in Education Award.
The next recognition is the Excellence in Education Award, and I'd like to invite Ms. Rochelle Gardner and Lisa Schemmerhorn to come to the stage, please. This month, the Milwaukee Board of School Directors is pleased to present the Excellence in Education Award to Julie Bush and Rachelle Gardner and Lisa Schemmerhorn on achieving National Board Certification in 2022. Julie Bush, who is not here, has devoted 28 years of her career in education to Milwaukee Public Schools and currently serves the district as a K-4 teacher at Clement Avenue School. Julie has been married almost 17 years to her husband, Brian, and has 2 dogs, Sasha and Wanda. The most satisfying part of Julie's job is working with the students and seeing how they learn and grow throughout the year. This is what makes her job so fulfilling. Rachelle Gardner has devoted 33 years of her career in education to Milwaukee Public Schools and currently serves as an itinerant teacher of the visually impaired. Rachelle is an MPS graduate from Alexander Hamilton High School and has 2 sons, James and Aaron. Rachelle enjoys learning about her students and their individual needs. She finds ways to make learning fun and accessing their curriculum easier for them. By teaching, she feels she is making a difference in the lives of her students. Lisa Schemmerhorn has devoted 22 years of her career in education to Milwaukee Public Schools and currently serves as an itinerant teacher of the visually impaired. Lisa enjoys reading and swimming when she's not working on lesson plans. The most satisfying part of Lisa's job is problem solving to understand the needs of her students and then making the adaptations or modifications so that the students can participate with their peers. The Milwaukee Board of School Directors honor Julie Bush, Rachelle Gardner, and Lisa Schemmerhorn for their dedication and commitment to excellence on behalf of the students of the Milwaukee Public Schools and congratulates them on achieving National Board Certification. Dr. Posley, would you please do the honors? Would anyone in administration or our honorees like to make any more comments before you leave the stage?
President Herndon, members of the board, and Dr. Posley. My name is Rachelle Gardner. I'm a vision teacher for the Milwaukee Public Schools, and I want to thank my colleagues and my students. I also want to thank specifically my colleague Marilyn Harmon, inspiring me to pursue national boards. Lisa Schemmerhorn, longtime teacher friend of mine, for going through the process with me, for her support. I thank Aaron Walsh and Sarah Johnston. They were my mentors for the last 3 years through this process. And most of all, I want to thank my beloved family. Tom Perlongo is my fiance here tonight for his support. Carol, my sister, is here. Even though I've said many times I wanted to quit, and I've been crying and calling her on the phone, she told me I couldn't. And then I also want to thank my brother Russell, he is here, and my brother-in-law Frank is here, my sister-in-law Valerie is here. National Board teachers have a great impact on low-income students. It means a lot for Dr. Posley, President Harnden, and the board members to recognize teachers that go through the National Board process. And I thank you.
Hi, mine will be shorter. Can you hear me? I'm a little short. President Herndon, members of the board, and Dr. Posley, my name is Lisa Schermerhorn, and I am an itinerant vision teacher from Milwaukee Public Schools. I want to thank Aaron Walsh, who supported us through National Board, and all the mentors through WEAC and colleagues who read my papers. I especially am grateful for my students who I work with every day. Thank you.
I want to personally acknowledge and thank both of you, all three, for a job well done. You all are truly who our children have been waiting for. Keep up the great work. You all make us MPS proud. Thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you so much for your service, and we really, really do appreciate that, and I'm sure the children absolutely appreciate and love that you pour into them each and every day, so thank you. At this point, we're going to shake the hands of these wonderful teachers. Yes. Is there anyone that would like to make comments at this point on the board? Director Jackson.
Yeah, just once again, I want to say I thank them for their time, their patience, and dedication in dealing, giving their support. People don't understand the challenges as an educator, what they face on a day-to-day. So from me to you, thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay. Madam Secretary, what is the next item of business?
The next item is action on the minutes of the April special and regular meetings of the Board of Directors. I'm sorry, Madam Chair, before we move, I think the administration has something to add to the awards and commendations section.
Okay.
Madam Chair and members of the board, we have one other distinguished honor that we want to talk about tonight and to recognize, so I'm going to turn it over to Paulette Chambers.
Go ahead, please.
President Herndon, members of the board, Paulette Chambers, Chief of Staff. This evening, I would like to recognize Ronnie Rivera, who is a coordinator in our Department of Gender and Identity and Inclusion. In this department, Mr. Rivera is one of our LGBTQ plus advocates. And if you have ever met Ronnie, you know he brings a host of energy with him with everything that he does. In supporting the LGBTQ plus department and initiative, he supports the student, staff, and families. Mr. Rivera also has been recognized out in the community for supporting the LGBTQ plus community as well. And in doing so, he has been recognized for his efforts, and he has been awarded the 2023 G-Safe Educator of the Year Award. G-Safe is a nonprofit agency that works to help LGBTQ+ youth thrive in Wisconsin schools. So this evening, we wanted to make sure that we gave a huge congratulations to Mr. Ronnie Rivera. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I just want to add, Ronnie is truly a champion for our young people. The young people love Ronnie as well as the adults. Job well done, and he truly make all of us MPS proud. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more remarks by the Director Gokul Gandhi?
I agree with both of you. If you've seen Ronnie in action, you just know that he really is there to support our students and support our families. And I think at a time where we're seeing just here in our community how tense the issues are around our kids and their LGBTQIA+ and gender identity, kind of the struggles that they're going through, it's so important that this district and people in this district are committed to supporting our kids. And so I just really want to thank Ronnie and the whole team, and I'm so glad he received this award, and I'm just excited that he gets to keep supporting our students. So thank you, Ronnie.
Director Jackson.
Yes, congratulations to Ronnie, and also in addition to two teachers who I attended this week who received recognition from the Milwaukee Brewers as well as U.S. Cellular, Mrs. Eubanks from Benjamin Franklin, as well as Mr. Rio from Benjamin Franklin. Two awesome teachers.
Thank you. Okay. Are we done with all these wonderful students and staff and the recognition that they also honorably deserved? Okay, we'll move on at this point. Madam Secretary, the next item, please.
The next item is action on the minutes of the April special and regular meetings of the Milwaukee Board of School Directors.
Do any members of the board have corrections to the minutes of April 2023? I see no hands, so there being no corrections, the minutes are approved as printed.
So noted.
If there are no objections from the board, the minutes are approved as amended, which we made none. So we'll move right ahead. Madam Secretary, are there any communications from the city or the county?
Yes, Madam President, we do have one communication from the City Comptroller, and that is action on the adoption of the resolution authorizing the sale of the revenue anticipation notes, the RANS notes. The recommendation is that the board adopt the resolutions to request that the city issue revenue anticipation notes pursuant to the provisions of Wisconsin Statute Section 67.12, Parent 1, in an amount not to exceed $275 million as outlined in the attachment to this item.
Would the administration please present this item?
Madam Chair, members of the committee, we have Joshua Benson with us from the City of Milwaukee, Capital Finance Manager, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Benson at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Posley, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Joshua Benson. I'm the Capital Finance Manager for the City of Milwaukee. This file authorizes revenue anticipation notes. This is something that typically would have been done on an annual basis at the city level on behalf of Milwaukee Public Schools. That was before we had a lot of COVID response money floating around, and the past couple of years we did not need to issue these. This file would authorize us, in the event that we do need money as those ARPA funds are spent down, to issue money in anticipation of receiving state aids so that we can continue paying for operating expenses before the bulk of the revenues are given by the state. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, do board members have questions or comments? What is the pleasure of the board with respect to this item? Seeing no comments. Can I have a motion? And we need a second. Director Carr. Which one was first? I'm sorry.
I move that we approve the request from the City Comptroller for adoption of the resolution of the sales of RANs.
Okay, and a second, please?
I second.
Director Carr, second. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On Director Garcia's motion, seconded by Director Carr, on a request from the City Comptroller for an adoption of a resolution authorizing the sale of revenue anticipation notes, the RANS notes. On the motion as read, Director Carr?
Aye.
Director Garcia?
Aye.
Director Gokul Gandhi?
Aye.
Director Jackson?
Aye.
Director Simpson?
Aye.
Director Zombor?
Aye.
Chair Herndon?
Aye.
That's 7 ayes, the motion passes.
Madam Secretary, are there any reports or communications from the superintendent?
Yes, Madam President, we do have one communication from the superintendent. That communication is the monthly report of the superintendent of schools. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Okay, will the superintendent please present the report?
Good evening, President Herndon and members of the board. Keith Posley, Superintendent of Schools. May reports outline some of the district's highlights of the month. The earlier presentation highlighted many of our shining stars. I would like to also recognize the Milwaukee Public Schools Milwaukee Metropolitan Alliance of Black School Educators Teacher of the Year honorees, as they were honored on May 5th at the 21st annual MAPSI Gala. I am sure all of those individuals recognized this evening are proud and of their accomplishments, and they all truly make us MPS proud. During this season of graduation, I congratulate all of our young people for their success and wish them the best as they embark on their new journey. As well, I commend family members, loved ones, and educators for standing with our students. Congratulations to the class of 2023. As our graduates begin the youth path, our students may still be planning for the summer. I continue to promote all of the academic, enrichment, and recreational opportunities that MPS offers for all ages and interests. I cannot stress enough the importance of a productive and safe engagement for our young people during the summer months. In my attached report, you will find more information on these opportunities. If families have not already done so, I urge them to act now to receive the selections of their choice. We continue to hold hiring fairs. Our next date is June 21st here at Central Office from 11 to 1 o'clock p.m. Spread the word to encourage individuals to join the MPS family. I close this evening by sharing my deepest appreciation to all of our staff recognized this month as for School Principals Day, as well as School Nursing Days, the School Nursing Day, and our Teacher Appreciation Week. A special thank you to all of our staff. And this concludes my report, and a full report is attached. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any of the board wish to make comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, does this require an action?
Madam Chair, this is an informational item and no action is required.
Okay, thank you. Madam Secretary, are there any reports or communications from the board clerk, director, Office of Board Governance?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do have 2 communications from the board clerk. The first communication is action on a request to retire to closed session to confer with legal counsel relative to litigation in which the board is or is likely to become involved.
Thank you. This item will be deferred to the end of tonight's meeting. Madam Secretary, what is the next communication from the board clerk, director, or Office of Board Governance?
The next communication is the monthly report with possible action on the legislative activities affecting Milwaukee Public Schools. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Does the Office of Board Governors wish to make comments?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do have Mr. Thiel with us, who will be giving the monthly report.
Thank you, President Herndon, members of the board. Chris Thiel, Office of Governmental Relations, with an update primarily about where we are in the state budget process at this point. As you know, the state engages in a biennial budget process, and 2 years ago at this time, on May 27th, the Joint Finance Committee had already taken up the K-12 education portion of the budget. We are here today on the 25th, and this board, like many boards across the state, has had to go through the difficult process of putting together a school district level board without knowing what the state plans to do in terms of K-12 education funding going forward. We have not seen a schedule for the K-12 portion of the budget yet. We had hoped that perhaps we would see it on June 1st, and it was confirmed this afternoon that we're not likely to see it next week, so we'll have to wait another week before we get an understanding from the Joint Finance Committee, at least, what they propose should be in the state budget. Once the Joint Finance Committee wraps up its work, then their budget proposal needs to go to both the floor of the Assembly, the floor of the Senate, and if it passes in the houses, then it will go to the governor to be signed, to be vetoed, or he has partial veto power as well. One of the items that has caught a lot of attention, obviously, is the shared revenue plan that the city has been working on. There are elements in there extraneous to actually funding municipalities, and frankly, I think for many people, when we entered this state budget process, and we do have a $7 billion surplus, and earlier this month, the Legislative Fiscal Bureau provided revised estimates of the fiscal forecast, which took the concern about recession, at least at that time, out of the mix, and the budget or the funding status of the state is very, very healthy. So frankly, this should be a relatively easy process. Unfortunately, clearly, it has not been. And when we look at the K-12 budget as well, as we've talked about in past months, there's been a real sense of unity among school districts across the state. We, along with pretty much every other district that's testified at the public hearings, have been asking for $1,510 per pupil over the biennium. That's an amount that would basically catch us up the previous 2 years, where we saw 2 years of zero per pupil adjustment, and with the forecast going forward, would cover those years. But we've also realized in conversation recently that the class of 2023 in the state of Wisconsin is the first class of students that has not been afforded in their entire academic career a per pupil adjustment that's kept pace with the rate of inflation. Graduates today, when they entered four-year-old kindergarten, saw a cut relative to inflation of $74. When they were in first grade, they saw an $843 cut from the state relative to inflation. And had the state simply committed itself to what was past practice, students today would have $3,235 more than they're being afforded in this process. So this boards across the state, had the state simply kept its promise as it had in years before to keep pace with inflation and not defund students, would be working with those additional revenues to support our kids. So that's a grim statement about where we've been for the last 14 years. The good news, however, is that in the weeks ahead, the state still has the opportunity to correct that we no longer need to be in a position where we're defunding our pupils. And again, with the two very basic and important asks of per pupil funding that keeps pace with inflation, and finally having a 60% reimbursement rate, at least in the first year for students with disabilities, will go a very long way to making sure we're supporting students in Wisconsin, supporting students in MPS. So I'm happy to answer questions if you have them.
Okay. Are there any board members that wish to make comments or ask questions? Director Jackson?
Yes. Just how soon would that happen?
The President Herndon, Director Jackson, the decision made by Joint Finance?
Yes.
I think it's speculation now because we're really trying to get an understanding of when they might find some agreement on that shared revenue piece. Traditionally, K-12 education, because it's such a large part of the state budget, comes at the end of the state process because it's such a big piece of policy to handle. So if it does, it's not going to happen next week. The hope is that it would happen the following week. The fiscal year for the state begins July 1, so they're really up against their own timeline to not only get it out of the committee, but then move it to the floor. So we should, we would assume, see a lot of action over the next 4 or 5 weeks to finally get this done.
Okay.
Thank you. Director Simpson.
Thank you for kind of bringing it to a very real level by talking about our students who are currently graduating and the opportunities that they've been denied due to lack of funding. I just also wanted to acknowledge we had students in the audience a little bit earlier who were sitting here asking for adequate funding from our state, and I know that there were also students who protested in Madison recently to ask for adequate funding. So yes, we can all really hope and ask and demand that our students receive the dollars that they deserve for a good education. So thank you for bringing that to a very real level, and thank you for the students who are taking action to make their voices heard and to stand up and let legislators know what their demands are.
Thank you very much. Any more comments? Okay, Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is the monthly report with possible action on the activities within the Office of Accountability and Efficiency. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Would the Office of Accountability and Efficiency please present this item?
Thank you, Chair Herndon. Matt Chasen, Office of Accountability and Efficiency. That report is before you. I'll just briefly highlight the collaboration that we did with the Office of Human Resources. That was to produce a report and an analysis of teacher retention rates. It came through the board through the AF&P committee this month. And lastly, I want to thank Martha Kreitzman, the CFO, and the finance team for their collaboration and transparency in our analysis of the proposed budget as well. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Do board members have questions or comments? I see smiles, no responses. Okay, so I guess there are none. So Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is action on the report of the independent hearing officers of the Milwaukee Board of School Directors, student expulsions.
The chair will entertain a motion to accept, modify, or reject the reports of the independent hearing officers of the dates and times listed in our agenda. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Madam Chair, we do need a motion to accept, reject, or modify the expulsions as outlined in the attachment to this item.
Director Carr.
I move that we accept the motion as, I'm sorry, not the motion yet. Yep, I move we accept it.
I'm sorry.
Accept the agenda item.
Okay.
Yeah, as is.
Second, please. Director Simpson.
Director Simpson?
I second the motion.
Thank you.
Will the secretary please call the roll?
On Director Carr's motion to accept the reports of the independent hearing officers, seconded by Director Simpson. On the motion as read, Director Carr?
Aye.
Director Garcia?
Aye.
Director Gokul Gandhi?
Aye.
Director Jackson?
Aye.
Director Simpson?
Aye.
Director Zambor?
Aye.
Chair Herndon?
Aye.
That's 7 ayes, the motion passes.
Okay, we will now have the reports of the standing committees. Since public hearings were given at the committee meetings, the board, as is customary, will not be giving public hearing on these reports this evening. Madam Secretary, what is the first report?
The first report is that of the Committee on Accountability, Finance, and Personnel. No items of this report has been set aside for separate consideration.
Do any board members wish any items to be set aside? Okay. Madam Secretary, what is the next report?
The next report is the report on the Committee on Strategic Planning and Budget. This report has been set aside as action is required on the recommended budget amendments and the budget resolutions.
Okay, Madam Secretary, what is the next report?
The next report is that of the Committee on Student Achievement and School Innovation. No items of this report has been set aside for separate consideration.
Okay, do any board members wish items to be set aside in this item? Director Zomberg?
So for SASE, could we set aside number 3 for a
Could you speak a little louder?
number 3?
Number 3, you'd like it set aside?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So noted.
Okay. Madam Secretary, what is the next report?
The next report is that from the Committee on Parent and Community Engagement. No items of this report has been set aside for separate consideration.
Do any board members wish any items to be set aside? Seeing none, may I have a motion on the balance of the committee's reports? Director Simpson.
I move that we accept the balance of the committee reports.
Second, Director Gokul Gandhi.
Second.
Thank you very much. Will the secretary please call the roll?
On Director Simpson's motion, seconded by Director Gokul Gandhi, to approve the balance of the reports with the exception of the Strategic Planning and Budget Report and item number 3 of the Student Achievement and School Innovation Committee. With the exception of those 2 items, the board would be voting to approve the balance of the reports. On the motion as read, Director Carr?
Aye.
Director Garcia?
Aye.
Director Gokul Gandhi?
Aye.
Director Jackson?
Aye.
Director Simpson?
Aye.
Director Zambor?
Aye.
Chair Herndon?
Aye.
That's 7 ayes, the motion passes.
Okay, Madam Secretary, what is the first item set aside?
The first item that was set aside is action on the reports of the Committee on Strategic Planning and Budget. The report was set aside for final action on the recommended budget amendments and budget resolutions. The recommendation is that the board, 1, approve the committee's recommendation relative to the budget amendments as described in the first attachment to this item, and 2, adopt the proposed FY24 budget, including the attached resolutions for the school operations, construction, and extension funds. Madam President, due to the nature of the recommendation, it would be prudent to first consider a motion on adoption of the budget amendments and then consider a motion on adoption of the budget resolutions.
Okay, Director Gokul Gandhi.
I move that we adopt the budget amendments.
Need a second?
Second?
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this motion? If not, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On Director Gokul Gandhi's motion, seconded by Director Garcia, to adopt the budget amendments as outlined in the attachments to this item, and that those budget amendments are in the first attachment to this item. On the motion as read, Director Carr?
Aye.
Director Garcia?
Aye.
Director Gokul Gandhi?
Aye.
Director Jackson?
Aye.
Director Simpson?
Aye.
Director Zomber?
Aye.
Chair Herndon?
Aye.
That's 7 ayes, the motion passes.
Madam Secretary, What is the next item?
The next item would be the budget resolutions that are outlined in the attachments. So,
Okay. I will now entertain a motion on the adoption of the budget resolutions as read by the clerk. Director Gokul-Gandhi.
I move that we adopt the budget resolutions as outlined in the attachment.
A second. Director Simpson.
I'll second that.
Okay. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
on approval of the budget resolutions, the resolutions reads as follows. For the School Operations Fund, resolved that pursuant to the provisions of Section 119.46 of the Wisconsin statutes relating to the School Operations Fund, the Board of School Directors hereby advises the Common Council that the amount of $1,093,859,149 will be required for the operations of the Milwaukee Public Schools, for the repair and keeping in order of school buildings and equipment, and the making of material improvement of school property during the 2024 fiscal year. In addition, pursuant to action taken by the Board of School Directors at its regular meeting on September 22nd, 2011, the Board of School Directors is required to advise the Common Council that an amount to be determined will be required for the operation of the Milwaukee Parental Choice Program, and that an amount to be determined will be required for the operations of the Milwaukee Public Schools, and that a total amount to be determined thereof is to be raised by a tax levy on all real and personal property in the city of Milwaukee, subject to taxation for the Milwaukee Public Schools purposes in 2024, pursuant to the provisions of Section 65.07, Parent 1, Parent E, Wisconsin statutes. Said amount to be raised by tax levy being an addition of the money to be received from state aid, shared taxes, and from other miscellaneous sources. Relative to the Extension Fund, resolved that pursuant to the provisions of Section 119.47 Wisconsin statutes relating to the Extension Fund, the Board of School Directors hereby advises the Common Council that an amount of $42,483,928 will be required for the maintenance of playgrounds, recreation centers, and similar activities during the 2024 fiscal year, and that $34,725,000 thereof is to be raised by a tax levy on all real and personal property in the city of Milwaukee, subject to taxation for the Milwaukee Public School purposes in 2024, pursuant to the provisions of Section 65.07, Parent 1, Parent G, Wisconsin statutes, said amount being required in addition to other miscellaneous sources. And Madam President and members of the board, as a requirement relative to the construction fund, a 2/3 majority vote is required. So I will be reading the construction fund into the record as well, and then the board can take its vote. Relative to the construction fund, resolved that pursuant to the provisions of Section 119.48 Wisconsin statutes, the Board of School Directors hereby advises the Common Council that an amount of $7,100,000 will be required for the 2024 fiscal year construction fund budget purposes, and that it is to provide in accordance with Section 65.07, Parent 1, Parent F, Wisconsin statutes, $5 million by a tax levy on all real and personal property in the city of Milwaukee, subject to taxation for the Milwaukee Public Schools purposes in 2024, and said amount to be in addition to the money received from other miscellaneous sources. On the resolutions as read into the record, approved by Director Gokul-Gandhi, seconded by Director Simpson. On the motion to approve the resolutions, Director Carr.
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Gokul-Gandhi.
Aye.
Director Jackson.
Aye.
Director Simpson.
Aye.
Director Zombor.
Aye.
Chair Herndon.
Aye.
That's 7 ayes. The motion passes.
Madam Secretary, are there any items of regular business?
Madam Chair, the board has just approved the budget. Just wanted to pause there for a minute, and then we will go right into our next item that has been set aside.
Okay.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I just want to personally, first of all, thank the board for your support as we went through this budget process. The finance team who have worked tireless hours, weekends, and just really been pushing it probably 6 and 7 days a week for the last 3 months. So I just want to personally recognize those individuals as well as our school leaders and staff who work to put budgets together, and all of our schools have gone through the budget carousels and back and forth and all of those kinds of things. So just want to thank, as well as our community who have lent input to us, that have helped us in the budget process to make some informed decisions. So thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, the next item that was set aside is item number 3 from the report on student achievement and school innovation. Item number 3 is an update with possible action on Resolution 2122R-4, middle school and high school equity. This item was set aside at the request of Director Zombor.
Okay, Director Zomber.
Yeah, I have hopefully just a couple quick questions. On the PowerPoint on page 19, there's a statement that appears that this is about Milwaukee High School of the Arts auditions. So I think it said on page 13 that families are not having students participate in the auditions, or not all of the families are. And I've been told by some teachers that when students don't complete those auditions, sometimes they don't show up in fall. And so my question is, and I also realize that this is not to exclude students from High School of the Arts, this is to place them in the intended major. So my question is just what work is being done to assist students and families in completing those auditions in time?
President Herndon, Director Zombor, thank you for asking the question. With me tonight is Matthew Boswell, and his team and myself are working with the principal of Milwaukee High School of the Arts. As we shared in our presentation, we've learned through this year in talking with families and students and teachers that some students don't know what an audition is or how to go about it, and they don't have the support. So that's where Matthew's team and us are working together with his staff to come up with other alternate times. So one that we have considered is Freshman Bridge, because that would be a time where children are coming, they're being oriented, they'll have a better understanding of why that's there, and they can be mentored through that process. Also, at the beginning of the school year, if the students still have not had an audition, that's another time. So we've been working with them to look at a variety of times. Needless to say, it would be great if all of those students could have auditioned prior to, for planning purposes, but we're learning that this is a process. If we are being equitable and inclusive, then we need to help students know what it means to take an audition and to create a portfolio and things like that. So for us, it's a learning process that we now know and understand that we have to do a lot more to support and help our students. Mr. Boswell.
Yes, President Herndon, members of the board, Matthew Boswell, Senior Director of Department of Student Services. As Dr. Mills stated, we're doing several things to make sure that those students get the appropriate opportunity. One of the things I spoke to Mr. Ferris, who is the principal at Milwaukee High School of the Arts, about, we have canvassers that canvass different geological neighborhoods looking for school-age children. It's a recruitment effort. This summer, we will also use those canvassers to, if need, to go to these students' homes. A lot of it is accessibility. In terms of having a parent available to bring you to an audition. That is something that Dr. Mills' Department of Student Services, along with Milwaukee High School of the Arts, have did an excellent job of understanding. So we just continuously going to come up with ideas to make sure that all of the students get the appropriate opportunity to audition, so then they can be appropriately placed in relation to their skill in the arts. So all those things are in motion. We're in constant contact with the principal, and that's something that I am fully confident we will resolve.
Any follow-up? I'd like to pass the gavel to Director Gokul Gandhi.
Director Herndon?
I have a question, and that is, in relation to the students not knowing what an audition is. I find that kind of strange, if you will, because if they've been going through any type of arts training, typically an audition, you know, you do those every year. The kids jump up and down and look forward to them. It sounds almost like they've not been exposed to the arts. And I'm wondering if that is the case, the reason why you have to do more in terms of enrollment or to get them there for an audition, which, how successful would they be if that's the case? Thank you.
Administration?
Yeah. President Herndon, members of the board. Yes, in speaking with the principal, Mr. Ferris, that was the explanation in which he was receiving a lot in terms of students didn't understand the aspects of auditioning. And I think it was in relation to at the high school level, in terms of making sure, I think the parents and some of the students were afraid that they had to audition to get into the school, not audition to be categorized and placed in an appropriate program. Okay. So I think once that was explained and was understood by the parents and the students, I think the nervousness and the anxiety associated with audition has diminished.
Okay.
President Herndon, any follow-up?
No, thank you.
Okay, I'll pass the gavel back.
Thank you very much.
If I may.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Director Gokul Gandhi, Director Herndon. One of the things that we have are working on too is reaching out to part of our plan going into next year in our preparation is how can we include the art, the music, the curriculum people that are in these fields to make certain that there are opportunities, just as you said, within their music class that could be taught so that students understand. So that's part of what we have learned, and that we will be working and reaching out to those individuals to how better can we help our teachers help our students. And so my team will be reaching out during the summer when it's a little quieter, and to develop ways that that can be integrated into the curriculum, and so students can be being prepped. That goes also with the earlier we introduce this, that our 6th and 7th grade teachers are both talking about these experiences, so when they're 8th graders and those auditions are coming, they have had the exposure and understanding. So that's what's coming.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Madam Secretary, are we done with that section?
Madam Chair, that was the last item that was set aside, and that was an update and report and did not require action.
Okay, and then we have the one, we do have another item of regular business.
That has been deferred. The next item that is before you are the 3 items of regular business, and the first is the report of the board's delegate. The first report is the report of the board's delegate to the DAC, District Advisory Council.
Okay.
Director Leonard is the delegate, and the report is attached. Mm-hmm.
Right. Do any other delegates have a report? Okay. Madam Secretary, we'll move on. What is the next item of regular business?
The next item of regular business is the monthly report of the President of the Milwaukee Board of School Directors.
Okay. My report for this month was turned in today, and so it will be published. Thank you. Madam Secretary, what is the next item of regular business?
The next item is item number 3, an opportunity for other reports from members of the Board of School Directors.
Do any board members have activities they wish to report on? Director Simpson.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick update on the student voice group that was formed as part of a resolution that I worked on with Director Leonard. I thought being the end of the school year was a good time, a good opportunity to give a little update. So this last school year, we met in the month of October, February, and April. The students who came represented 9 different high schools and 3 different student groups: Leaders Igniting Transformation, Youth Empowered in the Struggle, and Urban Underground. The students came, had lunch, and had a lot of opportunities to talk amongst themselves and also present ideas to the board, or to Director Leonard and I, as well as the superintendent. One theme that came across that I just wanted to share with the board was their desire to build more connections among themselves across the high schools, which I thought was really powerful, because here you have, like I said, 9 different high schools, all of these different youth groups being represented. And, one of the things they're really invested in and interested in is just creating dialogue amongst each other and building those connections across our district. So just wanted to give a little update, and I'm looking forward to our meetings resuming in the fall.
Thank you. Are there any other ones? I have one. I'd like to pass the gavel. Thank you.
Director Herndon.
Thank you very much. What I wanted to do was give a shout out to Stewart Elementary School. They received their official notification as an IB sanctioned elementary school. And it's my understanding that is the only IB elementary school on the north side of the city of Milwaukee. So I'd like to give them a congrats. Very proud of that. Thank you. And I'll take it back.
Okay.
Okay, with that, we'll move forward. Madam Secretary, what is the next item of regular business?
Madam Chair, that was the last item of regular business.
Okay.
Thank you. The next item is unfinished business. And we have one item of unfinished business, and that is designation of the board's representative to the Library Board of Trustees. At the April 25th, 2023 organizational meeting, President Herndon elected not to serve as the representative to the Library Board.
Secretary,
Therefore,
I would like to serve.
Director Jackson just volunteered.
okay, and that it was held over pursuant to Board Rule 1.17, Parent 6, selection of the board's representative required it to be held over for 1 month. The recommendation is that the board determine how it wishes to proceed.
Excuse me, I'd like to interject that there's a mix-up on that one because Director Simpson has been on that in the past. And I think that we did decide that she would remain in that, didn't we, at that meeting? Because that's what's on my reports at home.
Madam Chair, it was explained that this pursuant to board rules, it had to be held over for 1 month. And the decision, if you decide not to serve, it had to be held over for 1 month. And then at this meeting, you would select the delegate.
So
Director Simpson did serve on the library board last term, yeah.
So how do we handle that now?
That the board determine how it wishes to proceed with this item. The board would need to vote.
Okay. So then you are officially a candidate, Director Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Madam Secretary, we'll need to hold.
So at this point, it would be the traditional way that the board handles item. So I'm assuming Director Jackson is saying you're moving that you be chosen to serve? And Director Simpson,
Yes.
and we need a second on that before we can move forward.
We need a second.
Madam Chair, you have if I'm understanding, you have Director Jackson who is looking to serve and Director Simpson?
Yes, I mean, I would like to continue, but that's up to the board to decide. I don't know, I don't know how that's typically done.
Madam Chair, if you have two designees, we could do it in the regular nomination so that we could take down and have the majority vote, choose who to serve on the committee.
Okay. With an official nomination, then I would need someone to nominate Director Jackson as well as Director Simpson, right?
Director Jackson has nominated himself, Director Stevenson has nominated herself, if I'm understanding correctly from what I see here.
Yes.
So at this point, you have two nominees, and when I would call the roll, the board members will indicate who they wish to serve. Although this is an appointment from the board president, if you are not interested in serving, you could delegate this to someone else. That is how the rule reads.
Okay, so we wouldn't be doing a vote on it, if that's the case.
That is the case. As the board president, you could delegate this. The rule actually says that you will delegate it to someone else.
Okay.
And you have two individuals who have told you that they would like to serve.
Put me in the hot spot. The fact of the matter is that if I'm to delegate it or determine that, I will go with Director Simpson in that she's done that for quite some time, and is willing to do it this next time, this next term. So, and that avoids the vote, right?
So noted.
Okay. And we still do have some others that are not filled.
Madam Chair, you have filled all of your committee selections with tonight delegating Director Simpson as your representative to the library board.
Okay. I thought there were one or two that were still open. Yeah, there are. There are because the Charter School Review Committee ones, right? There's two charter committees.
Madam Chair, members of the board, those are committees in which representatives are chosen by the board president. However, those are not delegates as required by board rule.
Okay, but that still has to be done.
That is correct.
Okay. I understood. I knew it was something like that. So, and then the president chooses two to each one, right?
The board president would choose two delegates to the Charter School Review panel and two delegates to the Charter School Review team. The panel, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. The panel is the group that would consider new proposals to the district, where the team would review contracts that are seeking renewal.
Okay. Director Zomber and Director Carr.
Just trying to get clarification, the document I saw on our website regarding that says the superintendent gets two designees and then the board president. I just want to make sure that we're clear about how many designees the board president gets to both of those panels.
The board president gets two designees for the Charter School Review panel and two designees for the Charter School Review team. And typically, it's the administrative team that is conducting the review. So the Charter School Review panel is managed by the Office of Board Governance, and the Charter School Review team is managed by the Contracted Schools Office with the administration.
And
I'm sorry, Director Zomber, did that answer the question, or did you see something else that conflicts with that?
I saw something that conflicted with that. I'll try to find it, and we can always revisit.
Director Carr.
I was going to request a quick recess to discuss this, but if we are past it, then we can move forward. I just felt like it was too many questions for the session, too much confusion. But we're good now, I guess. Are we done?
Madam Secretary.
Madam Chair, if the board has questions or would like clarity, we can certainly, if you are requesting, we can call a recess.
Would a 5-minute be sufficient?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam, yeah, Madam Chair, it is my understanding that the recess is to get clarification to allow for me to pull up the board rules on these to make sure that we are following them appropriately. If that is it, then the board can take a recess. Yes, this will not be discussed during recess among board members. I will be pulling up the board rule. And just so that I'm clear, which board rule, which area is there confusion?
The Charter School Review Panel and the Charter School Review
Team. Okay.
And I think it's listed on the Charter School website page. There's a link in there, possibly. I could be
So
wrong.
we will pull up the policy and verify, although those are not things that the board votes on. So I will, it is the authority of the president. But I will, just so that the public has clarity on this, take a look. So
Director Carr, does that answer your question sufficiently since we can't discuss it?
Yes, it was not my intention to discuss it. It was my intention to call a break so the two of you could discuss what we need to do as far as the delegates or the appointments, because there was some confusion around that, and I didn't. Yeah, just to save face.
Okay, I find that I'm good on it in this case. And it's actually 2 delegates for each one of those committees that is chosen by the president.
Madam Chair, members of the board, for as long as I can remember, it's been 2 delegates on each side. And it is that, but I will definitely double check that policy. And if it is something different, I will inform you as board president that you only need 1.
All right, with that, we can move ahead.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. Director
With that,
Zomber?
we can move ahead then. If,
Think
are
Director
we to wait
Zomber-
until you pull it up?
I think Director Zomber has a, nope.
No, it's fine.
You okay? Okay. Okay. Are you ready? Okay.
Madam Chair, I can proceed when the board is ready.
I'm ready. Let's move ahead.
Okay, great. So at this point, that board president has designated Director Seamson to serve as the board's representative to the library board for the 23-24 board year.
That is correct.
Okay, great. With that, we are now back to the item that was set aside, and that is action on a request to retire to closed session to confer with legal counsel relative to litigation in which the board is or is likely to become involved.
So we need a vote? Okay.
I move that we go to closed session. I move that we move to closed session.
Second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do have a motion by Director Gokul Gandhi, seconded by Director Seamson, which moves that the board retire to closed session to confer with legal counsel relative to litigation in which the board is or is likely to become involved. On the motion as read into the record, and I will need the board president to read into the record the exception 19.85, parent 1, parent G.
This one here. Oh, okay. Oh, We have a motion to retire to closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85, paren 1, paren G, for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel for the board who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On the motion as read into the record, Director Carr?
Aye.
Director Garcia?
Aye.
Director Gokul Gandhi?
Aye.
Director Jackson?
Aye.
Director Simpson?
Aye.
Director Zomber?
Aye.
Chair Herndon?
Aye.
That's 7 ayes, the motion passes.
The board will now retire to closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85, paren 1, paren G. The board may return to open session to take action on matters discussed in closed session. Otherwise, the board will adjourn from closed session. Madam Secretary, please note the time.
So noted.